like I said, you are the one that make the devil look powerful. And some of you go and be watching rubbish movies that will make Satan look like Ogrimapam. That will make him look like Ashton Moore. That guy that used to run with this thing. It's not that powerful. Satan does not know everything. Satan is not omniscient. Forget Miyokuku Sheshe. Satan does not have ability to predestinate. He is mostly clueless. You are the one that used to gist him. Yes, you are the one that gives him information. Should I explain this to you a little? Genesis 3:15. God told the serpent, he said, you see this woman, her seed will bruise your head and you will bruise the heel of her seed. That prophecy was talking about who? The Christ. Immediately that prophecy came and Satan heard that a person is coming. The seed of the woman is coming that will bruise my head. Satan went on a rampage and started looking for the seed of the woman. Satan does not know everything, no. Satan started looking. He saw Abel. He thought Abel was that promised seed. What did he do? He moved Cain to kill Abel. After the death of Abel, he said, it's not Abel. Abel is not the promised seed. Then he started looking. Who is the promised seed? To make matters worse, in Genesis 12, God now called Abraham. And in Genesis 26, God now told Abraham, we just read it, right? See now the promised seed, and I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven, and I will give unto thy seed all these countries, and in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. When Satan heard this, the seed of the woman, the guy started looking. Who is this seed? Most of the time, Satan works by trial and error. He doesn't know everything. He thought it was Abel. He killed Abel. Found out that it was not Abel. Who is now the next promised seed? Immediately Joseph had that dream where the sun, moon, and stars bowed to him. Satan said, hey, now him. He's the promised seed. Satan moved his brothers to sell him. No, they even wanted to kill him before they sold him. Satan said, yes, I'm done. This has to be the promised seed. Satan thought Joseph was that seed. It's not Joseph. Who is the next seed? When Joseph was off the sea, he saw another prophet arise. He saw Moses. He said, yes, it has to be Moses. Moses is that seed. Did you see how he followed Moses till he ensured Moses was dead? Even when Moses died, he came for Moses' body, right? Satan doesn't know everything. Now you they give him power. The greatest power of Satan is deception. We are the one that makes him powerful. We are the one that makes him omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient. Satan is not everywhere at a time. If Satan is in Lagos, he's in Lagos. He can't be in two places at a time. It is only God that has that ability. Are you guys with me? When he was done with Moses, Moses now shouted in Deuteronomy. Moses shouted, he said, a prophet greater than me is coming. When the devil heard it, he said, what is all this now? I thought I was done with this promised seed. Wanna pity me now, since the beginning of creation, just to pursue the promised seed. What will I catch up with this promised seed and kill this promised seed? And then, after Moses, other prophets came on board. Prophets came. They were all doing Satan. You're a liar. And Satan was after them. Then let's run to the New Testament. Hey! One guy now appeared on the scene. This guy know they eat eba and egusi. He know they eat fufu. He know they eat baga and start. The Bible says his food was honey and what? White locusts. And this guy was baptizing people. Satan looked and said, this has to be the promised seed. Satan moved King Herod to behead him, right? After the beheading, Satan said, yes, he's the one. Now I can take my rest. Now I can rest. Hey! He didn't know that the Lord of glory was already in the scene. He didn't know that Jesus was already in the scene. Do you know? Matthew 4, the temptation of Jesus Christ. Do you know Satan was so clueless that Satan went to tempt Jesus so that he can get information from Jesus? Are you truly the Son of God? Ooh, they have read the prophecies. the messianic prophecies, they know that the seed of David is coming. They know that the person that will bruise their head is coming, but they were clueless who the person was. So imagine verses. And said unto him, if thou be the what? Can you see? Oga is not sure. He has information though. He's not sure. How can this Peter's son be the son of God? How can it be that seed that will bruise my head? Say, if you are, try and error. And said unto him, if thou be the son of God, cast thyself down. See, it is written. Satan is even quoting prophecy. The messianic prophecy. He said it is written, he shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hand they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. So Satan was asking for information. If Jesus has actually jumped, do you know Jesus will not die? The Jews will see it and know this is the Son of God. Satan did not know. He came to tempt Jesus to collect information. Information. But you used to give him information anyhow. On your WhatsApp status. God have not finished what he wants to do. You're already showing everybody. He said, this is the journey of my pregnancy. Demons don't even know you are pregnant. First, second month of pregnancy. Does anybody know you are pregnant? No. Now you they tell them. He said, baby bump on the way. Baby bump about to show up. You are giving information. It's not everything you write and post about. They don't do introduction for your head. They don't do smarty for your head, ba. They are posting it. Introduction is not marriage. Introduction is not traditional marriage. I can do introduction and decide not to continue. Introduction is not let me go and know your parents and know your family. You go and post it. I love how Apostle Paul put it. To show you that the devil is clueless. Show me 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians 2 verse 8. Come on, be fast. Aya, come on. I'm so excited. Glory to God. Which none of the princes of this world knew. Who was Paul talking about? The supernatural beings that have been tracing the seed from Genesis. He said, which none of them knew. For had they known it, they would not have crucified the Lord of glory. They did not know that killing Jesus will be their destruction. If many of you don't know that even the death of Jesus was warfare. There were supernatural beings on the scene, orchestrating, pushing Pilate, pushing the Sadducees and scribes, the Pharisees, the religious, but they were spiritual beings pushing Judas. And you don't know spiritual beings were in the scene. You don't know. They orchestrated the death of Jesus in their mind. Once they killed this one, this looks like the seed. It looks like the seed. This guy is doing too much. If they had known, they wouldn't have crucified the Lord of glory. Glory to God. Glory to God. That's why Paul said, Jesus made a public spectacle of the enemy. Public shame, public disgrace. How do you follow me right from Genesis and say I came to the New Testament and still disgrace you?